There is something no one has told you, something you've been feeling but do not dare admit. Being a good person could be destroying everything you've built, everything you dream of. But it's not what you believe. It's not about being kind or considerate. It's not about helping others or always saying yes when someone needs something. It's about something much deeper, much darker, something beneath the surface, manipulating every decision you make, every sacrifice you offer, every time you swallow your own needs to keep the peace. Now stop for a moment. Think about all the times you've chosen the right path, all the occasions when you remained silent to avoid conflict, all the nights you went to bed knowing you gave more than you received. Think about those times you sacrificed yourself in the hope someone would notice. Someone would say, "Thank you." Someone would truly say, "I don't know what I'd do without you." But they didn't, right? Not as you expected. The curious thing about being good is that it never seems enough. No matter how much you give, there will always be someone who wants more. There will always be someone who, consciously or unconsciously, takes advantage of your kindness. But here's the trick. It's not their fault. It's not the fault of others who squeeze you, who use you, who ignore you. It's your fault. Yes, you heard correctly. You allow it because deep down, there's something in you that enjoys that feeling of sacrifice. The martyr role. The good person role. You've been taught to believe that being good is what gives your life meaning. But it's not. It's what's destroying your life. And here comes the most brutal part. You have no idea how deep this problem goes, because it not only affects how others treat you, it affects how you see yourself. Your identity is so entangled in this need to be good, to be useful, to be necessary, that you don't even know who you are outside that label. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what you really want? Not what's right, not what will make others happy, not what they expect from you. What do you want? Have you ever allowed yourself to answer that question without feeling guilty? Let me pose this. What if everything you believe about yourself is a lie? What if being good is nothing more than a mask, a defense you created to protect yourself from something you don't even remember? Because let's be honest, no one is born being good. We learn it. We adopt it as a survival strategy. And like every strategy, it has a price you've been paying all your life. Maybe you don't see it yet. Maybe you think, what's wrong with being good? What's wrong with wanting to help? There's nothing wrong with that in theory, but in practice, being good has become your cage. A cage you decorate daily with excuses like, "This is who I am. I can't change. It's the right thing to do." But here's the problem. That cage doesn't protect you. It isolates you. It's slowly killing you, and you don't even realize it. Have you wondered why you feel so exhausted all the time? Because despite doing everything possible for others, you still feel that emptiness, that sense something is missing, something you can never reach, no matter how hard you try. It's not a coincidence. It's the price of living under the shadow of an identity that does not belong to you. And this is where the most unsettling part begins. What if your kindness is not actually kindness? What if, deep down, everything you do is nothing more than a form of manipulation? I know it sounds harsh, but listen. Every time you help someone, Every time you sacrifice your own desires, there's a part of you that expects something in return, even if it's just a minimum recognition, a small validation. You do it not just for them. You do it because, in some way, it makes you feel better about yourself. And when you don't get that thank you believe you deserve, you are consumed by frustration. You feel invisible. Does that sound familiar? You are not as selfless as you think. Nobody is. True kindness expects nothing, but yours always does, even if you don't admit it. And that's why it hurts so much when others don't respond as you expect. It's not about them. It has never been about them. It's about you, about that need to be loved, to be accepted, to prove you deserve a place in this world. But let me tell you something no one dares to say. You do not need to be good to deserve a place here. You do not need to keep sacrificing yourself to prove your worth, because your worth is not in what you do for others, but in what you are. Until you realize this, you'll remain trapped in this destructive cycle, giving and giving until there's nothing left of you. But this is only the beginning. Now that you know, now that I've planted the seed in your mind, let's unearth the roots of the problem. Because it's not as simple as saying, stop being good. If it were, you'd have done it already, right? The real question is, why is it so hard for you to stop? What's behind this compulsion to please, to be useful, to put yourself second? Let's explore that, because that's where the key lies. If we don't understand where this need comes from, you'll never free yourself from it. Have you realized that most of the time you say yes? Not because you really want to help, but because you fear what would happen if you said no. Fear of rejection, fear of being left out, fear of being labeled selfish. But here's the irony. When you always say yes, you lose yourself. You become a secondary character in your own life, an accessory in other people's stories. And the worst part is, you don't even realize you're doing it. Now think, how many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you stayed silent because you believed it was the right thing to do, only to end up feeling empty, exhausted, even resentful? And what happened afterwards? Did someone notice your sacrifice, or did they simply take it for granted? Here's the brutal truth. When you get used to giving everything, others get used to receiving everything. It's not that they're bad people. It's that you train them to expect that from you. And when you finally try to set boundaries, they look at you as if you're the villain. Does that sound familiar? But here's the most important part. It's not their fault. And at the same time, it's not your fault. This is not about blame. It's about patterns you learned early, perhaps even without realizing it. Maybe you grew up in an environment where being good was the only way to feel accepted. Maybe you were taught that your worth was in what you could offer, not in who you really were. And those lessons stayed with you, shaping every decision, every relationship. Let me tell you something you might not have considered. Being good is not the same as being integral. Kindness without integrity is not kindness. It's self-abandonment. True kindness begins with you. Because if you cannot be good to yourself, if you cannot respect your own boundaries and needs, then everything you give to others is not kindness. It's self-abandonment. And that doesn't help anyone. So here's the challenge. learn to be selfish. Yes, selfish, not in the sense of stepping on others to get what you want, but in the sense of prioritizing yourself, of taking care of yourself first, of making sure you are full before trying to fill others. Because a dry well gives no water to anyone. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to say no. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to disappoint others, if that means being true to yourself. But don't be mistaken. This will not be easy. There will be resistance from others, of course, because they're not used to you saying enough. But there will also be resistance within you. That little voice that tells you, you're selfish, you're failing, you're not a good person. Here's the trick. That voice is not yours. It's the echo of all the expectations imposed on you over the years. And you can ignore it. You can choose something different now. I want us to do something. Leave in the comments a phrase that summarizes how you feel right now. Something that expresses what's moved you in this video, what you're willing to change. It can be as simple as, I am going to put myself first, or as profound as, I stop being the martyr of my own life. Whatever resonates with you, write it down, because that act of writing it down, declaring it, is the first step toward change. And of course, if this video has resonated with you, if something I've said has sparked something in you, subscribe for more. Here at Psyche Nomad, we face the uncomfortable truths no one wants to touch. This is a space to grow, to question, to be brutally honest with ourselves. So if you're ready for that journey, welcome. This is just the beginning. Remember, being good doesn't have to mean destroying yourself. You can be good, and at the same time be strong, be free, be yourself. But that starts here, now. Are you ready to take that step?